The candles have burned down to stubs. It is late at night in Hampton Court Palace, and Catherine Howard can hear footsteps approaching her chamber. They are not the soft steps of her ladies-in-waiting, not servants bringing food or fresh linens. These footsteps are deliberate, official, unavoidable. Catherine Howard is 19 years old. 6 hours ago, she was Queen of England. Now she sits alone in her chamber, forbidden to leave, guarded by men who will not meet her eyes. Her husband, Henry VIII, has not come. He has not sent a message. Instead, he has locked himself in his own apartments, where he has been heard weeping for hours. The walls of Hampton Court were built for grandeur, not privacy. Sound carries easily, and the King of England is sobbing like a man whose world has collapsed. A knock comes at the door. Formal, final. "Enter," Catherine says, her voice steady despite her racing heart. Archbishop Thomas Cranmer steps inside. His expression is carefully arranged, pastoral and gentle, but his eyes are cold. Behind him stand guards. Too many guards. "Your Majesty," Cranmer says. The title already sounds different. This morning it meant power. Now it sounds like accusation. He tells her he has come on the king's business, that urgent matters must be discussed. Matters concerning her conduct before her marriage, and during it. The words land like stones in still water. Someone has spoken. Someone has told. And everything Catherine has built is about to collapse. This is the true story of Catherine Howard's destruction. Not the execution itself, which lasted seconds, but the 3 months of psychological torture that came before it. Historians often summarize her fall with a list of charges: adultery, treason, betrayal, dates, confessions, trials. But they rarely explain what those months actually felt like. The isolation, the interrogations, the systematic destruction of everyone she had ever trusted. Tonight we tell that story. To understand Catherine Howard's fate, we must begin long before she became queen. Catherine was born around 1523, though no one recorded the exact date. She was not important enough. She was the daughter of Lord Edmund Howard, a man perpetually in debt and perpetually failing to support his family. Her mother died when Catherine was young. Her father sent her away to the household of her step-grandmother, the Dowager Duchess of Norfolk. That household was chaotic and poorly supervised. Dozens of children, wards, and servants lived together. The girls slept in a shared dormitory known as the Maiden's Chamber. At night, when supervision relaxed, boundaries dissolved. When Catherine was around 13, her music teacher, Henry Mannix, began giving her special attention. Mannix later admitted to touching her intimately. Whether Catherine understood what was happening, whether she could meaningfully consent, was never considered by Tudor investigators. What mattered was that she had been touched before marriage. After Mannix came Francis Derham, a young secretary in the household. He and Catherine formed a relationship that was openly sexual. They called each other husband and wife. They exchanged gifts. They spoke of a future. Whether this constituted a legally binding pre-contract of marriage would later become a question of life and death. By the time Catherine arrived at court as a teenager, she had a past. A past servants knew about. A past that could be weaponized. In November 1541, it was back at Hampton Court. Cranmer begins his interrogation. He presents testimony from witnesses Catherine once trusted. He asks about Mannix, about Derham, about her time in the Duchess's household. Then he moves to the most dangerous accusation of all: conduct after her marriage to the king. Catherine denies it. She insists she has done nothing improper since becoming queen. Cranmer gently introduces the name Thomas Culpeper, a gentleman of the king's privy chamber. The meetings, he says, were private, at night, facilitated by Lady Rochford, who stood watch. What requires a lookout? Cranmer asks calmly. If nothing improper is occurring, there is no answer that can save her. Cranmer orders Catherine to write a full account of her life, past and present. He sits in the room while she writes. He does not leave. She cannot consult anyone. She cannot know what others are saying. This is how Tudor justice works. The system is not designed to discover truth. It is designed to produce confessions. Everyone connected to the accused is questioned simultaneously. Servants, friends, relatives, lovers. Each is pressured to speak, to reveal, to betray. Silence becomes guilt. Inconsistency becomes treason. Catherine writes through the night. She admits to Mannix. She admits to Derham but denies any pre-contract. She denies adultery with Culpeper. That denial is her gamble. If adultery occurred after marriage, it is treason. Treason means death. The gamble fails. Culpeper does not tell the same story. Catherine is moved to a smaller suite in Hampton Court. Her household is stripped away. Her remaining attendants report everything she says. She never sees Henry again. What she hears is that his grief has turned to rage. The investigation widens. Mannix is arrested. Derham is arrested. Culpeper is arrested. Lady Rochford is arrested. One by one, everyone Catherine trusted is taken. Under interrogation, they begin to talk. Derham's testimony is devastating. He confirms the sexual relationship. He admits they called each other husband and wife. Worse, he reveals that Catherine gave him a position in her household after becoming queen. Why would a queen employ a former lover unless she intended to resume the relationship? Culpeper's confession is fatal. He admits intention. He says he meant to do ill with the queen and that she was similarly minded. In Tudor law, intention is enough. On November 22, 1541, Catherine is informed she is no longer queen. She is stripped of her title. She is sent to Sion Abbey to wait. No one tells her what will happen next. Sion Abbey becomes her prison for 10 weeks. The rooms are comfortable. The isolation is complete. No visitors. No letters. No news. She waits through winter, through Christmas, through the New Year. Meanwhile, in London, the machinery of death turns. Culpeper and Derham are tried and convicted of treason. Culpeper is granted mercy and beheaded. Derham is hanged, drawn, and quartered. Their heads are placed on spikes on London Bridge. Catherine is told. She knows now that men have died because of her. That mercy is unlikely. Lady Rochford, broken by interrogation, suffers a mental collapse. She is declared insane. The law forbids executing the mentally incompetent. So Parliament changes the law, specifically to kill her. Catherine understands what that means. On February 10, 1542, she is informed she is being moved to the Tower of London. She passes under London Bridge. She sees the heads. In the tower, something remarkable happens. Catherine does not break. She asks for the execution block to be brought to her room. She practices placing her head upon it. She wants to die with dignity. On February 13, 1542, she walks to the scaffold. She gives the required speech. She prays. She does not confess to adultery. She kneels. One stroke ends her life. She is 19 years old. But the execution is not the worst part of her story. The worst part was the months before it. The waiting, the isolation, the knowledge that everyone she loved was being destroyed. The realization that the law itself could be changed to ensure her death. And perhaps the most terrible moment of all came earlier. After her arrest, Catherine once broke free from her guards. She ran through Hampton Court, screaming for Henry, trying to reach him. She was stopped in a gallery that still exists today. The haunted gallery. She was dragged away. Henry was nearby. He did not come. That moment, the screaming, the unanswered plea, may have been worse than death itself. Remember Catherine Howard. Not just how she died, but how she was made to suffer before she was allowed to die.